Hello, everyone. I have good news that this will be the fourth and final part to Chapter 4. And yeah, so let's just get right into it. So there are some other terms that you need to know, and we'll go through them now. The term job enlargement. As I said in class, the term job enlargement means giving a worker additional tasks that are at the similar level that they have now. So an example of job enlargement for me is that I always teach the management class, so that's my core job, but occasionally I'll teach the supply chain 200 class, or like teaching this human resources class. So job enlargement is having employees do other things that's at a same level. It's not harder for me to teach the HR class than it is for me to teach the management class. It's just giving me additional tasks at the same level that I was at. The term job rotation. Job rotation means when an employee works at one job for a period of time and then works at a different job for a period of time. I've noticed that Carrefour does this. They have employees that at sometimes during the day, when there aren't many people in the store, they have them stocking shelves. When on busy nights, like Thursday night, when Carrefour is super, super packed, they have those employees that are normally stocking shelves come up and help put the groceries into the sacks. So that's job rotation. Sometimes there can be rotation within the same day. So you do one job in the morning, and sometimes you can have rotations that can be for weeks. So like my sister, who was a nurse, she's now retired, my sister who's a nurse would work the day shift for several weeks, so during the day, and then they would rotate her and have her work in the evenings for several weeks. So that is job rotation. I have a note there that I will erase because this won't be on any test, but the opportunity I had once for job rotation was I had a possible job at a financial company based in the United States where I would spend 2 months in Des Moines, Iowa, the capital of my city, capital of my state, and then I would spend a month in Singapore, and then 2 months back in Iowa, and then a month in Madrid, Spain, and then 2 months back in Iowa, and a month in Mexico City. That is job rotation in doing different things in those different places. And I would have loved that job, and I didn't get it. So I was very sad. But then again, if I had had that job, I wouldn't be in teaching, and I'm very happy to be in teaching, so it's okay. Job enrichment. Job enrichment means adding more depth to the job. It is in class, I've already given you the term empowerment. That empowerment, in empowerment, I gave you the example. I gave you the story of if you give a man a fish, he eats for a day. If you teach a man a fish, he eats for a lifetime. I gave you the old proverb of that. Empowerment is exactly this: teaching a person to fish. Well, job enrichment is the official way of giving empowerment. It is job enrichment. An example of this is me being the coordinator for the management class. So I wanted more control over what's covered in the management class, and so I asked to be the coordinator. That's an example of job enrichment. Flattening the organization. Flattening the organization, I showed you in class the video of Steve Ballmer, the previous CEO of Microsoft, and when he was shown the way out the door, they never say fired for people at his level, but when Steve Ballmer was let go from Microsoft, he was replaced by Satya Nadella. So Satya Nadella became the CEO in 2014, and one of the goals that CEO Satya Nadella had was to flatten the organization. So I believe at the time when he took over, Microsoft had 9 levels of management. And in his opening speech, when he talked about what he wanted to accomplish, he said, that is ridiculous for us to have 9 levels of management. I want to immediately eliminate 3 layers of management, get us down to 6. And he's made that change, and he's made several other changes in the past 5 years. And Microsoft, when he took over in 2014, was valued about $300 billion. And today, and I just checked it a few minutes ago, Microsoft now is worth $1.36 trillion. So more than 4 times the value it was back in 2014. So it's not just flattening the organization that reduced their costs and made Microsoft more profitable. It is many other things too, but definitely I could do a case study on how a good CEO does amazing things for his company. Self-managed teams. So in a self-managed team, a team is given a goal and they're given the independence to work. So they're given the goal and then they're given the independence to work towards that goal. And the way that success is measured is they ask the question, did you achieve your goals? And if you're able to show this was our goal and we went 20% above it, then that's a very successful self-managed team. The book makes the point that self-managed teams can be considerably more successful than having a manager manage the team, okay? So to understand self-managed teams, this would be like me dividing the class up into 5 or 6 groups and saying, here's a project, work on it, and then I don't direct you at all. And then when we're done, we see which groups achieved the goal, had the best output, okay? Self-managed teams. The term competencies, we've had this a couple of times before. The term competencies means what you are good at. So what you're competent in are the things you are good at. When they're doing what's called a competency-based job analysis, what they're doing is they want to find a star employee. So they want to find somebody who does a great job. They want to ask that person in great detail what it is they do. So tell us what you do. Tell us how you do what you do and what skills you will need to do what you do. And last but not least, they'll do what's called talking about critical incidents. The term critical incidents it's not a hard term. A critical incident is explaining this is a moment where the star employee, the great employee, did this, but the employee who was not so good did this, okay? So when we're talking about the term critical incidents here, what we're talking about is critical means important, incident means something that happened, and so a critical incident is what is that moment where the star employee was amazing and what did he do different than the average employee. And the last concept you need to know is what's called reengineering business processes. Reengineering business processes simply means trying to think of a new way to do things. And I purposely saved this to be the last thing to discuss because quite simply, in this world of COVID-19, every company in the world is right now trying to rethink how they do things. Me, as a teacher, I'm trying to rethink how I teach. So this is reengineering business processes. I've never done videos before this whole thing came down, and yeah, learning new ways to do things. That's a good place to end, and that's everything you need to know for your midterm.